Weekend warrior traffic north of the fog-shrouded Golden Gate Bridge tested our patience. We were eager to see what the luxury sports car we scored could do on open road. The drive through Northern California's coastal Redwoods to Crescent City would be the first ever road trip with all four brothers present and, just as important, no parental supervision.
Growing up outside Boston, we each learned to drive with the 1991 Acura Integra RS, beating it up and handing it down like a pair of long johns with a progressively larger crotch hole. The Cura, as we've called her since the A rusted off, has racked up 221,000 miles, and starting the engine after a rainstorm results in a bucket's worth of water dumping onto an unsuspecting passenger's feet. We all moved away after college, and our parents regularly inform us of all the mechanical work she undergoes, as though we need to be kept abreast of her declining condition. She is the resilient and stubborn family dog, and she's on her last legs. It seemed only natural that we source her beefed-up reincarnation for our road trip up the country's opposite coast. With 305 horsepower, the TL SH all-wheel drive has more than triple the power of our dented derelict Integra, and we put that force to use after hitting Route 128 in Mendocino County en route to the coast.
We followed the road inland back to US Route 101, aka the Redwood Highway. I'd imagine the Redwood Highway running beneath towering obelisks, but with the open sky above it looked not unlike highways I'd driven before. We soon realized that the highway's appeal lies in its diversions. The first scenic byway was the Avenue of the Giants, a 31.5-mile stretch of S-turns through Humboldt Redwoods State Park.
We pulled over to hike through a grove of redwoods whose thick trunks eclipsed the sunlight. Couldn't help but feel small in the redwoods' shade, especially with their grandeur exaggerated by scant underbrush and an immense silence. On our way back to the 101, we slammed the brakes at an organic produce stand to buy popsicles made from fresh blackberries. Despite a poor childhood track record, not one of us stained his shirt. Our next turnoff was for the Lady Bird Johnson Grove, a 1-mile loop through redwoods mostly between 600 and 800 years old.
across the Klamath River to see where it meets the ocean didn't stop us from speeding up to Crescent City in time to watch the sun drop beneath Pebble Beach's rock-strewn shallows. That was our intended endpoint. After camping in Jedediah Smith Redwoods State Park that night, we couldn't resist racing our chariot up to the Oregon's famed coast.
A spot above Cape Farello provided a commanding view of waves breaking against sea stacks in the morning light. The local tipped us off to a beach with a 12-foot waterfall pouring onto the sand. A couple U-turns later, we found the trailhead where a kiosk's hand-drawn map labeled the spot Secret Beach.
A seal that bobbed in the water was the only other beachgoer. Trees grew from the sea stacks at wild angles, and a cliff running down to the water's edge split the shore in half. We needed to explore what lay on the other side. We waited for our moment, then sprinted through the gauntlet. Water collected around our feet and surged up our calves and thighs. Having safely crossed, we found that it was just us four brothers there, plus the lingering swell of adrenaline. Less than 20 miles south of our hometown's latitude on America's opposite coast, we re-encountered simple, boyish exhilaration.
On the drive back to San Fran, we again strayed from the highway to lose ourselves on a winding mountain pass. Somewhere between the 1 and the 101, above Sonoma County's vineyards, we whipped around the curves until we passed a flipped pickup truck. "Why don't you turn it down to a 7, Graham asked Evan. Let's just make sure we get to the bottom of the hill." We descended to civilization and pulled into a vineyard's parking lot. There we threw on wrinkled pants and button-down shirts. Then, donning our disguises of adulthood, we toasted our trip with glasses of wine.
Alright, I get the magic stone. Well, we have it on video, so we'll be able to go. Take it back to the tape. Back to the tape, Bob. Go to the tape. Let's go to the tape.